Welcome to the SplitLine Offroad Podcast.
Are you ready to go GNCC racing? Fans running to the fences, side by side. Boards gets a better line.
Oh boy, we got wheel to wheel right here, string. Oh, and Stu Baylor right behind him.
Russell gonna try to dive bomb down to the inside. No, can't get the line he wants. Duvall is in control. We open back up. Here comes Neal once again. He's going for the pass. Oh, the bumping going on.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the SplitLine Offroad Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Rodney Cooper. With me today, as always,
Brandon White here, guys. What is up?
episode 072 coming at you. We got a special guest in studio. Brendan Poling, XC3 Pro, is in studio, ready to talk it up with us after we're a little bit late today, guys. We apologize. So, Brendan, we apologize. What's up, buddy?
How's it going?
No, not too bad, man. We're ready to get at it. We've had a little bit of technical difficulties today. It's been a little bit interesting getting this thing going.
We're blaming it on Cooper.
I mean, if you want to blame it on me, that's
blaming
fine.
it on him.
You got to blame it on somebody. Somebody's got to be the scapegoat, right? Brendan, thanks for coming to the studio, bud.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Yeah, man, we're excited to get after it, talk some GNCC racing, talk what's been going on with your season this year. But first, before we get going, we have got to thank our awesome sponsors. First and foremost, we got to thank Guts Racing. Since 1985, they've been in the business of making the best seat covers, the best seat foams, bar none, out there. Don't ask me. Ask people like Joel Hedrick, Thad Duvall, Craig DeLong. Best seat covers in the game. They keep you hooked to the seat. Most style performance for you. We haven't asked that question. Performance? I think they look sweet. We got to thank Seal Savers. If you got forks, if you got coil savers on, you need to save the seals. That's all I'm saying, because you guys put so much money in all this, suspension equipment. Save it, right?
Right.
Yeah, and you can do that now with discount code SplitLine to save 25% off of anything. When it comes to mountain bikes, dirt bikes, ATVs, UTVs, save it all. Yep. They've been in business for 20 years over there on the West Coast, and they are making their way to the East Coast through SplitLine Offroad. So we're excited about helping them out, and we're going to need to do a giveaway soon with them.
Yeah, we do.
So, yeah, we also got to thank Sunstar Chain and Sprockets, best chain and sprockets in the game, made out of what is it, Brandon?
Case hardened steel.
Case hardened steel. I always mix it up. Yeah, but the best sprockets and chains in the game. Yep. Save 30% off of anything on their website by using the code SplitLine30 to save on them. We also got to thank XC Gear.
Right.
XC Gear is brought to you, Brendan. XC Gear is bringing Brendan Poling to this show today.
That's right.
That's right. So Brendan runs the Mako 360. Brendan, what do you think of the Mako 360?
Absolutely love it. Definitely keeps down an arm pump. Those big G out hits that we hit in GNCCs, you know how rough the tracks are. It makes it a lot easier on your wrist throughout a 3-hour race. Takes away the arm pump, and like I tell Lance all the time, when I crash real hard, the bars don't move. So that's definitely a good thing. I don't have twisted bars when I pick the bike up. I usually like to lay it down a couple times a race.
Yeah, that's for sure.
What's pretty cool, I'll add it on, is like the things that you can add on to the bar clamp. Like I saw he had like some like little ball that you can just take one bolt out, bolt it in, and then attach something to it, and like your phone or anything, any kind of device. So yeah. You can use it for all types of riding. Yeah.
And then not only just the Mako, but you got the Hammerhead as well. I need one of them for the mountain bike, because I'm a big mountain bike guy over here, as you saw on Instagram this weekend. But then you got the foot pegs. Do you run the Spurs?
No, I currently do not. I definitely would like to try them in the future.
Yeah, they look like they would make the ride a little bit more comfortable.
I need one because I kind of bit one.
You bit a foot peg?
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
A lapper got in the way.
Were you the lapper getting in the way?
No. Usually that's what happens when I'm on the dirt bike, but no. I was coming up on a guy and I got real tight. He was real slow. He was in the rut. He kind of was coming out of the rut, so I just gunned it. I thought he'd be out of the way, and wasn't. I just kind of just boom. I got up, my foot peg was all bent in and everything. I was like, oh.
Brandon, do you believe that we actually are able to give away a Mako on this show? We did it 2 weeks ago. We gave away a Mako for our fantasy game, and we're going to be giving another one away here next month. So excited about that. And did you know that you can actually run one on an ATV as well?
Yeah, I have seen that. Because I've seen a couple of I think one or two of the pro ATV guys, I believe, had someone this week. I seen them as they were going by.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah,
it's cool to see. It's cool to see the Mako kind of making the scene at the GNCC and becoming like extremely popular there as well. But actually, Brendan is not just brought to you by XC Gear. He's also brought to you by Mountain State Hare Scramble because he runs the series as well. Yeah. So, Richie runs an awesome series over there. We're excited to have him on board here helping us out. And Brendan, you're going to be at the next race, the next Mountain State race?
Yeah, I should be. That's kind of the plan. So definitely like to run his series. It's a good seat time, between the nationals and stuff. And there's no practice like race practice. So
yeah, that's right.
Definitely like to hit as many locals as I can.
That's right. So, hey, this show's going to be an awesome show. We got Brendan. We're going to be talking to him about his season, what's going on in his life, and what he's been seeing out at the GNCC. We're also going to have Ricky Russell on here in a little bit. We're going to talk to him about coming back from, he had an injury earlier this season and missed 2 rounds, and he was back this weekend and put a really good performance on. I think he ended up finishing 7th overall.
Yeah.
So
pulled the whole shot.
Highest scorer in
fantasy.
SplitLine Fantasy. So we're excited to talk to him. But let's break down real quick fantasy stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to pull up because we were so much in technical difficulty. Probably forgot to do that, right?
Yeah, we did forget to do that.
That's what I'm pulling up. So what do you think about Supercross?
Oh, man. I think it was extremely boring this weekend.
Well, I mean,
there was some exciting things. Did you see Daniel Wilson?
Yeah,
what happened to him?
That poor guy.
Yeah, he got a pretty good.
Oh, man. Did you guys see the video from his social media, from him in the hospital?
Yeah. It looked pretty gnarly. I mean, he didn't show anything, but yeah.
10 inches.
10 inches is a big
10 inches is a deep.
Didn't he say the doctor could literally put her hand in his butt?
In his butt. In his third.
And not in the regular hole, but in the other hole.
Yeah. So I was listening to another show. I was listening to Main Event Moto, and they were talking about how they were like, where did it actually go? And they did. This is before he put his social media out, and they were like, I don't know, but he was bent over in the middle of the track, and they were like trying to figure out what was going on. So it's speedy recovery to him. He seems to, when he crashes, it seems just to be massive. Yeah. So
does Tomac have it pretty good?
Oh, Tomac's got it wrapped up, right? He's just cruising at this point.
I think as long as he stays, just consistent, no big crashes, I think it's his championship to lose. I mean, at this point, he's been the most consistent guy all year.
At this point, I'm actually looking more forward to the outdoors and what's going to happen there. We got.
Did you see where Ferrandis is?
I figured he would be doing that. He'd pull out and focus on the outdoors to. Back up that championship. And then we also got potential of European riders coming over.
Yeah. Jeffrey Hurling's might be coming over
for the full season. That would be crazy. I would really be interested to see how that goes.
Especially with Tomac on the Yamaha and he's been riding good and everything.
It'd be hard to root. It'd be hard to root for Hurlings because, man, if he comes over here and waxes everybody, that's going to be a little stinger, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. These tracks over here, they're a different style of racing, considering, from the European stuff to over here. I still think with Tomac riding the way he is, and he's a better outdoor rider, I think, than what he is Supercross. So I would imagine he's going to probably do the same thing he did this Supercross season on outdoors. I think he's just going to carry that momentum right into it. And I definitely think it'll be a great battle to watch. If Hurlings does come over, though.
Yeah, for sure, because I keep thinking about how fast Tomac is on that Yamaha and how much power that Yamaha has, and he uses the outsides at the Nationals, outside to outside to outside with that power, man. It's going to be insane, and he gave Ferrandis a run for his money last year after he got going after High Point, so It's gonna be interesting.
And he looks happy. He
Yeah.
looks happy and comfortable. It just looks like a completely different Eli Tomac. You don't have those weird like one-off rides where he ends up just like going backwards in a race.
Right.
And then another interesting thing about the outdoors this year is Mookie's running the
Yeah.
outdoors.
Yeah.
So that's not something you've
I thought he
seen.
was going to be done with the knee when he wrecked. Did you see like how his knee? I don't know if you guys
It
watched
looked a little suspicious the way it twisted.
I was like, ugh,
I'll be
man.
honest with you. I missed the third race last weekend. I watched the first two, and I missed the third one. I haven't got to watch it yet.
Spoiler alert. So, Brandon, what went on in fantasy?
All right, so on Rocky Mountain side, of course, Jeremy DeWitt, he's ranked like 525th overall in Rocky Mountain.
Killing it.
So he's killing it in our league. And then you got Ronnie B 109 and B Moretto in third, Guthrie 441, which is Jed Guthrie. In fourth, and then Jay, and then Nick Ivory in sixth, and MX Girl, then Big Ben in eighth, and that's Rocky Mountain. And then over to all right. So for the pulp side, for the weekend, Justin Groff scored the highest points.
Did you?
324.
He messaged me and he finished 45th overall. That's out of
Wow.
like 5,000.
Did he win? I think it's like, is it top 50 that wins something, or is it top 40 like every week?
Probably his luck, probably top 40. He
Yeah.
finished 45th.
And then Mr. Poopy Butt took second, and then Mason Soulsavers took third.
Our listeners, Jesus, guys.
And GNCC 62243 took fourth, and then you took fifth.
I did?
Yeah.
I didn't even see that.
And I took sixth, and then Let's Go Brandon
Humble.
seventh, and Kyle Murray took eighth. And then for the series overall, I'm pretty sure it's still Mason. If my phone would pop up.
Hey, Doug Kirk, don't worry. We're late too, bud. It's been a absolute crap show over here
Yes.
earlier. So we had some technical difficulties. Thanks for joining us, bud.
Right? I don't know. There we go. Yeah, Mason Soulsavers is still leading the points.
Of course, he's going to up winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, those West Coast guys, they got the inside scoop when it comes to
just to let him
Supercross.
know, he's getting the Soulsaver Soulsaver bundle.
He's going to get the Seal Saver bundle.
I'm just messing.
Yeah. So then we over in the split line fantasy, the most important fantasy, Tyler Ticknell won with 189 points this weekend, but due to some team time frame issues, the prize went to Josh DeNoble, who finished second.
I got you.
So he ended up getting the Sunstar chain and sprocket kit.
Awesome.
I don't know about you, but winning that for just playing split line fantasy is a pretty sweet prize.
Well, heck yeah, man.
Yeah, and then Scott Connors finished third. Austin Hayhurst fourth. We're not going to mention the guy that finished fifth.
Yeah, because I'm still leading the points, right?
Yeah, Brandon's still leading the points. Brandon over in the points. Brandon is. Guys, we got to step it up. Somebody's got to step it up, or I'm going to have to do like some kind of malfunction of the computer.
I'm keeping tabs myself.
Yeah.
Making sure you don't mess me up out of it.
So Brandon's winning with 715.
Yeah.
Zach Bothwell, 686. Come on, man. We got
I
to.
got some comfort. I got
Yeah.
a little bit of comfort.
William 316. Then Billy Bebot. And then I'm in fifth. I'm creeping my way up there.
Yeah.
So.
So Brendan, so when you get close, are you feeling that real good top 20? Just let me know. He's like, because you'd be big points.
Well, hopefully that's the plan. We're moving north, so
That's
like we were talking earlier. There's just wee little something that once I figure that out, then I definitely think we'll be there. And I'm not stressed yet. We still got it's a long series. It's not a sprint; it's a marathon. So
yeah,
we still got 8 more rounds, and all of them are north. So
that's good. And
Well,
all of them are pretty close to us too.
Yeah, let's get into your season so far. So you're currently sitting fifth in points.
Yep.
You've had kind of like you've been around that fifth place position all season long. How do you feel about your ride so far this year? You're on the 125. It's been different from, coming from the XC2 class to going to the XC3 and on the 125. How's your season been?
The first round, I was okay with a fifth. Second round, I think I got sixth, and I was like, then, so I'm never happy unless I'm like winning, so,
Yeah.
so to speak. And then even if I do win, I'm still not happy with myself. There's things that, you can always work on. And, there's just something I got to get figured out just a little bit. But I think once that happens, and I feel like it's going to happen soon, and I'm going to take these 3 weeks off that we got here and try to really figure it out. And, I feel like coming in to these northern rounds, top 5 in points, with 8 rounds left, I mean, anything can happen, and I can make up a lot of points. That's kind of the plan. And, Indiana is the next round. So, that's one of my favorite races of the year. So hopefully I find that little thing that's going to put me up front. So,
Right.
So these past, southern rounds of sand, that's not quite your cup of tea coming from a West Virginia boy.
not for me. I love riding that stuff. I don't feel like I get to spend enough time down south over the winter to really go down there and just kill it, which hopefully next year we can. I feel like if you need to be down there for a couple months before the first couple rounds, and then, I go down there for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I come home, and then, with the weather the way it is up here, we you ride when you can until springtime now. And finally the weather's breaking, and I've been getting a lot of riding in. So hopefully I can go down there and actually, stay even into the first 2 or 3 rounds come next year, so yeah.
We're good. Yeah. So a couple people I talked to was wondering why the shift back to XC3 onto the 125.
I'm a little guy, so I figured the 125 would be good for me. I grew up on 2-strokes, love 2-strokes. It's honestly a little bit cheaper on me to ride the XC3 class, I think, versus riding the XC2. So, I feel like I got to get a shot as anybody at winning races, and, I did in this XC3 class right now as we stand. And, I just got to just put the pieces together.
Right.
So. Yeah. And I think it'll come.
That XC3 class is no joke. You know what I mean?
No,
those guys are hauling, you know what I mean? So, of course, it seems like 2-stroke world is coming back because of that. It's cheaper. Yeah. It's cheaper to run a 2-stroke. I kind of wish I had a 300 right now. I got a 450, but I keep telling the wife, I'm like, I need a 2-stroke because it's just cheaper to rebuild, take care of and maintenance.
Nice change of pace too, because we've been on 4-strokes. Even the last year and a half, I even rode youth bikes. 2014, yeah. So 14 was my last year on youth. And we were on 150Rs then, and I've been on 4-stroke till now. And that's also been a big change, just how light the bikes are, the 2-strokes are versus the 4-stroke. And it's just different, like you're cornering, and then especially on the 125, how much momentum you got to carry versus relying on that power to pull you out of a turn, or you got to be really smooth on your lines. You can't just bury it into like a big sand berm or something. You just can't come in and run it wide and really bury it, because you just don't have the power like you do off a 250F or a 252-stroke or something, So, I think that's also a big thing I need to work on is line choices right there. I see it, throughout the race. So, line choices would definitely be a big thing to work on. So,
right.
I kind of transfer that as like you keeping your power on the outside of like long sweeping turns rather than like dive bombing down and then having to, like you said, rely on that power to pull you back up out. Something like that.
Yeah. Or, even coming in so hot that, you jam the brakes and then kill the power on that 125 and then expect it to pick back up.
Right.
It doesn't work as,
right.
as good as it would, like, because I got a 252-stroke too. And like you can come into something and just crack the throttle halfway through, man, and that thing will just come alive, and you can jump anything, you can do anything. So it almost, the 250 almost makes you lazy.
Oh yeah,
riding the 125. So
yeah, and that's what we've heard a lot about, 2-stroke versus 4-stroke. Like you have to work more on the 2-stroke to get you up there, and it takes a lot more, like you said, just consistent being on it.
Yep.
So when you're running the Mountain State races, are you also running the 2-stroke, or are you running the 4-stroke?
Well, I'm riding a 252-stroke. I have been at the last 2 of those events.
Okay.
I'll probably, I'd say the next one I'll probably ride my 250 again. I'm definitely going to bring the 125 out to a few of them. Might actually just run the 125 at the next one, get a little more seat time before we head to the national with it.
Yeah.
So that's probably not a bad idea either.
Right.
Yeah. Now, before the show, we were talking about you practicing on the 125, and you were talking about riding moto on it, and you said that your lap times were actually like way faster on the 2-stroke versus the 4-stroke.
Well, my 125 versus my 252 stroke.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, because we we went to a little moto track, track 93 up the road.
Okay.
And, yeah, we were riding up there, and the first time I ever even rode the 125, we just bought it, took it straight there. I was on my 250 for 2 or 3 weeks. So I had a little bit of seat time on it, and did some laps on it, and then I got on the 125, and I was going faster on it. And I think it's just more of like that track over there, and stuff. It's not quite as deep and rough as the GNCC,
Right,
so
right.
I could really rail everything on the 125 versus trying to manage at 250 power. But yeah, I mean that's what I just got to get smoother on it,
Right.
and make it kind of work at the nationals, you know.
Right. We were actually talking last show. We're planning on having a SplitLine rod day out at track 93. So you have to come out and eat some hamburgers with us when we go do that.
For sure, I'm down with that.
So let's get into the last GNCC weekend a little bit before we get Ricky Russell on the line. Man, let's talk about the ATV race real quick.
Yeah.
What a battle between Walker and Bryson Neal. Those guys just, man, if they can keep doing this all season, it's going to be a wild year.
It is. It's impressive how they. I wish I could have been like on that drone, but like in the trees with them those last 2 laps, because you could just watch it on TV and you're like, oh man, like we just lost him again. And it was like a yo-yo effect. And I thought it was pretty cool. And I don't know what you guys thought, but like in that last, was it like maybe that last mile, it looked like Bryson had Fowler beat, like it looked like he was coasting it in, and like all at once Fowler came within bike lengths into the last turn. And it was just crazy because it seemed like that was working like that all day long for him. Well, these last two laps.
Yeah, they seem to elevate each other a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems to be like, man, they keep elevating each other, and it's almost like, man, you really hope that it doesn't come down to a breakdown or anything like that. But with the ATVs, you never know.
Yeah. And I got there right before the end of their race is when I pulled in, and I got to watch a little bit of the end of it, the last lap and a half. And I think Neal was just kind of going for it at the end. You could kind of tell, and get paid off, and he got himself another win.
That's kind of his style.
Yeah.
That's always been his style. And I don't know if you could like break him of it.
Yeah, right.
And at this point, it's like, man, if you're winning, it pays off. But, we've talked a lot about like, what's kept Neal from a serious championship run has been that, and like not settling for a second or a third place, and like pushing the bike a little bit past its limits, because there's not many people out there, but Neal does have the ability to like snap that machine in half with the way that he rides it.
Yeah.
And Brandon and I have talked a lot about how this year he's on Magnum One Sports or Magnum One Motorsports, and he has that confidence of that team behind him versus when it was just him and his dad. That I think that team behind him really gives him confidence in that machine and be able to push it a little bit extra.
Yeah. You could just tell he's really comfortable. When you're comfortable, you're going to go fast. So, I mean, he looks dialed in, and I'd say that's how he's going to ride the whole year. I mean, he looks dialed. So
he looks good, man.
Does anybody else get a win in this class this year between those two?
Those two have to take each other out. I think so before someone else.
I wouldn't. I think McGill will get snowshoe.
You think McGill gets snowshoe? Oh, man.
Fowler
Do you think there'll be a mountain left for you guys to ride on Sunday if McGill gets snowshoe on Saturday?
No chance.
Just burn the mountain down to the ground?
Oh, yeah. The fans, they love McGill. So.
Yeah, they sure do. We had Jay Shad on the line last week, and he's going to be probably on row 2. That row 2, McGill would also be on row 2.
Yeah.
So the way that snowshoe works out, it's pretty fun with the time adjustments from the top 5 to the top 10. There's been a lot of people win from row 2.
It's going to be interesting because this, I'm pretty sure Fowler and McGill are both tied with 5 wins, right? At snowshoe. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
They're tied up.
I think there's
something like 5 or 4 wins, whatever.
I think 4.
So this year's like the deciding factor, kind of like who's more like right now it's Todd Mountain.
Yeah. Yeah. And Brandon and I were talking, we go back to the Neal and the Neal and Walker thing. Walker seems like he may have a little bit of an edge on Bryson on the more technical tracks, which is less snowshoe. And Bryson is more of like the like the Ironman that's more like wide open and a lot of momentum carrying type tracks.
Yeah.
Bryson seems to be able to play into that, but man, you can't count out old man McGill when it comes to a good rocky rooted track.
Yeah, and Jay, I mean, I can tell he's been riding good. Has he won all the XC2
Yeah.
races?
He's won every single XC2 race.
I mean, if he's starting on road 2, I wouldn't put it past him
Right.
to not win an overall from XC2.
And there's been times on time adjustment, either after the first lap or second lap, that he's actually been the overall leader from XC2. So you put that on road 2 at Snowshoe, it could be a deadly combination because all he would have to do is catch up to one of the guys and just latch onto them to win.
Just jump right on pace with whoever's leading and just follow him. And I mean, anything can happen.
Yeah, it's been done before, so it could definitely happen again. Hey, Matthew Jones, we will be ordering some more shirts. He says we need to get some more XC or 2XL shirts. And then, hey, David, what's up, man? We appreciate you guys joining us. So let's jump over to the bikes real quick.
Hey, real quick, before you do that, we need to throw a shout out to third place guy for the quads.
Oh, yes, we do. John Glotta Jr.
That's right. Congratulations
to him. First podium of the career.
Yeah.
Man, what a solid ride.
Yeah.
We were talking about him last week with Devin Masters. He throws that quad around like it's a dirt bike.
Yeah.
He really does. It's pretty impressive.
Did you see that video he posted? He was riding a motocross track and he literally did throw it pretty much sideways.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty intense, man.
Yeah, you can see the skid plate and everything.
Well, I've noticed like even the quad guys, even like the dirt bike guys, where a lot of us just practice on moto tracks a lot anymore, just for that raw speed.
Yeah.
That raw speed of trying to figure out your corner speed and, things like that definitely ups your reaction time. So I can tell a lot of them guys have been spending a lot of time on moto tracks too.
Yeah, it really, I mean, it's Brandon and I, and we're talking on a much lower level than you guys. We came from motocross to woods racing, and I felt like it brought an intensity that you don't naturally have in the woods. But when you're on a motocross track,
when that gate drops,
it's just intense from the time the gate drops until it's over.
Black flags,
yeah, absolutely. So let's jump over to the bike side. We had the question: Does anybody outside of Walker and Neil win a race this year? Well, I have the same question on the dirt bike side, but does anybody outside of Ben Kelly win this year? Do you think that we could possibly see a perfect season?
I think we could. Ben's riding super consistent right now. He's just riding so smooth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it almost looks like he's not even trying, so to speak. I mean, granted, he's definitely trying, but I mean, he's just everything's clicking, and he looks good. He's definitely going fast, and it looks like he's just kind of getting that little bit of a gap, and he's just managing it and just riding his pace to the finish.
Yeah,
having a good time doing it.
Yeah.
Is there anybody out there that is currently on the XC1 line that do you think that could seriously challenge for a win, or do you think it's going to come down to, if he does get challenged for a win, it's going to be when Stu comes back, when Strang comes back?
He should be back soon.
We talked to Thad last week. He's going to try to come back before the end of the season, but all these guys are also on the mend.
Yeah.
So,
I'll tell you what, man, if Trevor Bollinger keeps it up, he used to battle for KR and Thad for wins. So if he keeps it up, he gets back on the pace, he can give Ben Kelly a run for his money.
I think definitely Josh Toad.
Yeah.
He stands a really good chance, and so doesn't Craig DeLong, I think so. And Jordan Ashburn also. I mean, them three right there, I think are consistent. And then you also got Lane. Michael.
Lane's always had the speed to do it, and it's just been Lane has we talked to Lane, and it's always been like that third hour, it just putting that last puzzle piece together. But the speed factor's always been there for Lane. So I think
he's been on the mend too with that ankle.
He has. A lot of these guys been on the mend.
Yeah. Lane's always had speed. I mean, he grew up 20 about 15, 20 minutes up the road from us. But he I mean, he's always had sprint speed for sure. I think he puts that third hour together
Yeah,
And
he could
I think definitely by the end of the year,
Yeah.
I mean,
can get one.
he could definitely win.
And then we can't forget about Ricky Russell 2 years ago before he really, he suffered that pretty kind of crazy incident where he was bleeding pretty bad. When he was doing that, he was battling KR for the win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ricky, there's so many guys that can win. That's the thing. It's just putting it together on any given weekend. Just Ben's figured out how to put it together consistently in a KR fashion.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Caleb did. And just consistently win.
But man, did Caleb even jump out to these huge leads and just manage it from that far away? It always seemed like Caleb kind of ran with that maybe 30-second lead or something like a manageable distance like that. Like Ben's running clear to like 2 minutes ahead of these guys. And it's wild to see like just I know that there's been a lot of guys hurt and everything, but it's been pretty dominating this year.
Now, could that bite him in the butt? I mean, he almost had an incident right there in the sand whoops, the sand rollers. He about ate it. and he said himself, he don't know what he was thinking, but could pushing that hard I don't know how hard he's pushing, but to pull 2 minutes ahead or a minute ahead of everybody, could that bite him in the end? You know what I mean? Could that cause him an accident?
Yeah. It definitely could. When you're pushing, I mean, things can happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think Caleb was very good at, like you said, getting out just that little bit and just, he would ride with you even, and then just take off.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Right.
He knew how to win the races at the end.
He knew how to win races without putting the maximum amount of effort in.
Yes. And little to no mistakes, he was very consistent and,
kind of like what he did to Zach Osborne this weekend.
Yeah. I watched a couple laps of that too.
It looked like they were just kind of having fun though.
I could tell Caleb was just having fun,
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's probably been the first race for a while for him that he's got to just go and have fun.
No, it's cool. It's cool seeing him out there, and he still came through the finish line with a ripped jersey, so something happened along the way. But it was cool to see Osborne out there as well, and I liked how they put the bounty on both of their heads, $500 on both of them. For the girls to
they were
take
trying.
them out.
Their girls were trying.
They were trying. I tell you what, man, those girls are fast.
They are. They're fast.
They're definitely fast.
They'd beat me any day.
Well, we've had this talk with Stu, and we had it with that actually last week. What would your thoughts be on potentially if they ever change the order of races, of the way the races run, and like the women run the 3 hours? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Honestly, I don't even know what to even think about that. If that's what they want to do, I mean, move them to there. They're a pro class, you know. I don't know how many of them are wanting to run the afternoon. I have no clue. But it would definitely get them out of that morning traffic too.
Right. Yeah. That seems to be the thing that the problem has been is been the morning traffic.
Yeah.
And I mean, as bad as the traffic is for you guys, it's the traffic in the morning is double or triple the size.
Yeah, because I mean, everybody in the afternoon is pretty much national riders from B to pro, and everybody kind of has a good awareness to them. And then in the morning you get some of the local kind of guys that are out there riding, and then those girls are going pretty fast. Yeah. So I mean, they come up on them quick,
right?
And and it's a lot of times not anybody's fault. They might come around and just come out of a corner super fast, and there might be somebody going slow and, get taken out or whatever. Cause I've heard a lot of, stories the last year or so of, the girls, one of them get taken out, leading or whatever, coming in the last lap, get taken out.
Right.
So, I mean, I have no clue what they want to do,
Stu, I don't know if you heard our show with Stu, but he has this whole
he has it whole planned out.
He has it all planned out. He has it planned out to where you guys are racing on Saturday right after the ATVs, and basically Racer TV just takes the show and runs it right through and has just a big all the pros in one day. As a fan, I'm awesome. Here for it. 100%.
I think that would be kind of cool to do the pro ATVs and pro bikes in one day.
Now,
and then amateur races on Sunday. Yeah. And I agree with you. On Saturday, the tracks would be a lot smoother.
Right.
Let them race on Sunday, not us.
That's right.
Well, and then also, like we talked about, could you imagine what an Ironman Hill or a Howard's Hole would look like after 5-6 hours of racing rather than like 2 or 3 at a time? It could be pretty wild.
yeah, for sure. Well, definitely like the tracks change though. Like that'd be kind of sweet to run the pros all in one day because the morning lines versus our lines in the afternoon. The morning classes, they tend to make the ruts straight up and down.
Yeah.
To where the first couple laps is like a Penton race. It's super hard for us to ride in those ruts because you come into a turn and they're stood up. So they're kind of like,
we don't lean the bike over enough for you guys.
Yeah. And, after about first 3 laps, then we start carving, lines that are laid over, but it'd be kind of sweet to get those lines kind of early and be able to really run with them instead of trying to ride straight up and down ruts. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool. I think even throw the 4x4 pros in with the ATVs, because I mean they're running just the same type of pace that they could. It'd be cool.
It'd be interesting. I think it'd be good for everybody. Just bikes, quads, the fans, or the whole fan base.
ATV Women Pro, they could run that pace.
How many people do you? Because you see like Saturday quad race most of the time, and then Sunday when you're out there racing, like the fans are sure in the woods are kind of trickling down as you guys are racing, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Besides snowshoe, there's people. I think they live down there all year just to get ready for Howard's Hole and stuff. But I mean, by the last 2 or 3 laps of our race, they really start trickling down a little bit, and like you see less people at like the hill climbs and the mud holes,
right?
And stuff, which granted, they're getting to the finish to watch what whoever's going to win, and but yeah, I mean, I think it'd be a good idea. Maybe. I mean, it's something to try. I mean, and if it doesn't go to plan, you can always go back to the old schedule.
And we've talked about it before, like, how Stu talked about how, a lot of, obviously if you put the women in, you could take a class out and put it over in the mornings on the amateur side. And that would help the lap crew or the lappers. It would help, keeping the professionals safe. Keeping the people that you're paying to watch safe for riding. But
we're getting joined by the SplitLine crew.
You guys keep talking.
I got you. Yeah. But yeah, I think it'd be really good. And I think there'd also be some time to do some of the youth races, like in the evening time or in the morning on Saturday, if it really came down to it, just finding time for them.
Yeah, because I think that's what they did at Ironman this year. I believe they ran the youth on Saturday, I believe, and then they had 2 morning races because of how many people are there. And that's another thing, man. Those morning races, they're getting 1,000, 1,200
it's
riders.
Crazy. It's crazy.
That's a lot of traffic on a 12-mile course. You got 1,200 people.
Yeah,
that's a lot of traffic to work through.
But who was it on last week that was telling us? I can't remember who. It's pretty bad. It was Thad that was telling us by the time they're coming back around for the first lap, like that last line is just going off.
Yeah, they're lapping guys as early as the lappers' 3rd mile.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's insane. So they're only getting 1 lap of clean air.
Yeah,
before they get into lap traffic.
Yeah, that's about right. Because the end of the 2nd lap, we're usually catching people out of XC3, and we're usually catching into them or around about that area. So
that's pretty crazy. Wild. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get Ricky on. Yeah. We've kept him waiting long enough. So we'll get him on, talk about his season so far this year.
Yeah. Pretty awesome. See how he's doing after recovery and all that.
Pretty awesome. See him come back and put on a good whole shot and a good race.
Yeah.
Hello, Ricky.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going, man? It's Cooper and Brandon from the SplitLine Show, man. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah, we're joined in here by Brendan Poling, XC3 rider. He's kind of hanging out with us this evening, and we're ready to talk it up with you, bud.
Sweet. Yeah, sounds good.
So, man, it was awesome to see you back at the races this weekend after, being off injury for a little while, and came out swinging this weekend. I know the season really didn't get off to the start that you wanted, but it's got to feel good coming back and having a good race this past weekend.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's been a struggle, no doubt. 2022 I was hoping to come in like better than ever, knowing what to expect, and just like I finished 21 kind of like getting my speed back from missing all of 20. So yeah, I was really coming into this year with high expectations, and I freaking got injured again. So yeah, and now it's just been a fight and a struggle getting going, and felt good to get back out there this weekend. And I wasn't quite where I need to be speed wise, but get out there and fight with the guys a little bit and kind of see where I'm at, and just now we can build from there.
Yeah. So what's the trick with that gas? Does that thing just fire up like by you just blowing on the button or what? Because you've been pulling a lot of hole shots.
Yeah, no, I'm 2 for 3. I've only had 3 starts this year. Got 2 of them. So, but yeah, no, the thing fires up well. I mean, they all start pretty good. There's a little bit of technique to it. I've always been a decent starter. I don't know why. I think I practice them here and there. So, I don't know. Yeah, it fires good. We're dialed on the starts. That's for sure. It's just, you get out front and then it's kind of like, oh crap. I haven't been up here for a while, so yeah, it's been good to get good starts, and the gas has been awesome.
Yeah. So how's the shoulder? It was the shoulder you hurt, right?
Yeah, I broke my collarbone at the end of the season last year, and I was like, okay, I got time, so I'm gonna just let it heal. I didn't get to do surgery or anything. Looking back on it, I wish I would have just done surgery and got it fixed, because it was an ongoing thing where I thought it was healed. It wasn't healed. I fell on it again. I re-fractured it, and then kind of gave it some time again. And that was in January. And then so like preseason, that's when we're supposed to be grinding hard. And then I was kind of like thrown in a loop there where I couldn't ride like I wanted to, because I wasn't supposed to be yet. And so kind of stayed off the bike for a bit, and then got back going and fell on it again in Florida. So then that set me back, and I was like, all right, we're going to let it get good this time. And it's been good now. So yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like a long road, man.
Dude, it's a roller coaster, no doubt. All over the place, up and down, up and down. I'm like, oh yeah, it's getting better. We're ready to race. And then bam, nope, no more time, no more recovery to go race. And then, not to mention it, like 3 weeks ago, I was like doing some shoulder therapy recovery stuff in the gym, and we were lifting a little bit, and then I smashed my hand in between 2 weights and broke the tip of my finger.
Oh, jeez.
Was it a clutch finger? Was a
front brake finger.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Well, I got a clutch finger. It's got some some stitches holding it together. So.
Yeah, that's not fun. Not fun when you got to use your lever, and it's like you try to switch fingers, and it's like, for the front brake, for me at least, I couldn't switch fingers. I tried, and I was like, I couldn't ride. I could ride, but I was just very terrible.
Right.
So
yeah,
I just had to tough it up, and yeah, now it's getting better. But that's the more lingering thing now. It's just, you wouldn't think much of it, a tip of a finger. Call me a wuss, but dude,
it's annoying.
Sucks.
It's definitely annoying.
I don't know, man. I'm looking at Brendan's finger right now, and I wouldn't call him a wuss at all. That looks nasty.
Yeah, that's what happens when you smack a handlebar trying to pass somebody. Smack the metal bark buster running flags. So.
Yeah.
No fun at all.
No. So, talk us through, you talked about off season and everything, and how you came in really, expecting a lot. This whole season, it seems like, I'm not going to say it's been a letdown, but it's been kind of a damper on the season with a lot of, top guys. You guys have really taken a hard hit when it comes to injuries and, just, I don't know, just really walk us through, like, I guess coming back through that, from that.
Yeah, no doubt. I think it was a dampener for, like, just even the fans. Like, everyone was excited, everyone's healthy, and I mean, we had a good front row going into round one, and then it was like, a matter of
20 minutes.
Round one, everyone's hurt. So, and then round two more. So it was like Strang and myself at round 2 dropped out, and I wasn't healthy at round 1, but we got through it. And then round 2, I was feeling good. And yeah, me and Strang both hurt ourselves again in that one, and it's kind of is a letdown. Everyone's fighting for it. We're all going fast though. And that's the thing, is everyone keeps getting faster and faster. So we are on the edge a little bit, but I don't know if that's why or the track. No one can point a finger at one simple thing why everyone's hurt. But yeah, it sucks because even this weekend when I lined up, I think there was like 8 pros. So.
Yeah, it did look pretty small out there.
Yeah, which they're still getting good turnouts, but yeah, I think on a national aspect, it needs to look a little better on the front row.
Right.
Yeah, a full front row it adds a good look to the series.
Yeah.
We talked. You talk about like you can't really point it to one thing. We had this same conversation with Thad Duvall last week, and we pointed to so many different things where from like you guys are running a consistent pace that's almost more of like a motocross pace, like, and that extends through the whole GNCC series. It seems like you guys are just running a really, really fast pace from the beginning to the end. And then we talked about how the training is just at an ultimate level. You guys are more in shape than ever. And then the e-bikes allowing you guys to basically memorize these tracks to where you're able to pin it,
First lap.
Go. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like you're saying, it's a combination of everything. Where the fitness level just keeps getting higher and higher. It used to be like, we'd start off the race pretty fast and then kind of like you had to pace yourself, where now it's full blown moto the whole time. So especially that first 2 laps behind Ben Kelly, I was like, dude, we are getting after it right now. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just a whole nother level. I feel like it just keeps amping up. And the fitness, the training, the e-bikes, like you said, all that I think has a play in it. And I think a lot of lappers early on were a big deal because they had big turnouts. And so when we're going that fast and then we're trying to take different lines that we weren't planning on taking because of a lapper, I think that sometimes then we hit something. That's what happened to Stu. That's what happened to Strang. He crashed into a lapper. And I think that's a little bit part of it, but it seems like the turnouts have gone back down to where they were, not as big, not quite as crazy as it was. So
it's gas prices, man.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I say that every time I pass a pump.
You pass one?
Yeah. I keep passing them.
as long as you can, right?
So since we're back healthy and stuff, are we just doing GNCCs, or are you going to try to run like another doing national enduros or full gas or US sprint, or we doing anything like that?
Yeah, I'm healthy, so I'm like honestly just planning on racing every weekend from now on. So that will be. But I'm contracted to do national enduros, so I didn't do round 1, but I'll do the rest of them. So that's the plan. GNCCs and national enduro, but I'm gonna do some sort of racing on the off weekends.
Gotcha. That sounds fun. I really need to make it out to one of those national enduros. They sound really fun.
National enduro, you can't pre-ride the track, correct?
Nope, no pre-ride.
Okay. Oh yeah, all fresh.
No, so
they are fun. It's just different kind of racing.
Right. So what's your thoughts on that? Like, would you ever want to see maybe something like that implemented maybe not want to, but like, do you like the fact of running fresh track to where you're really dependent on your ability to read lines versus your ability to memorize the tracks? What do you like better, I guess?
So for me, I've always been more of a hair scramble guy. And then last year was the first year I raced national enduros, and it was a little bit, I've done 1 or 2 before that, like here and there, and it's fun. It's different. You got to like just smooth out and just, I don't know, it's different. There's sometimes you don't even feel like you're going fast and you end up doing well. And sometimes you think you're going fast and you're like 7th place and you're like, what the heck's going on? but it's like you're just overriding and you're just not being smooth. And so it's a different kind of racing for sure. And you do have to pick lines. You got to be quick thinking. There is not as many, but you do have some lappers because you catch up to the rows in front of you. But yeah, for me, I've always been more of a hare scramble guy. I do like the National Enduro aspect just because it's something different and it gives that type of racer something to go chase too. So,
Right.
Yeah, I do like it. We do need different kinds of racing, so I think that's good. And last year I was starting to get them figured out towards the end, I was happy with that, like the improvement. So I was expecting to do better this year. So, but already missing round one isn't awesome for the championship. So we'll see. But yeah, it's different. So racing the clock and just you don't really know how you're doing, which is hard. Where I've always been a racer where I know where I'm at when I'm racing other guys. So, if you're going fast enough or not.
Right. Brendan, but what about you? Do you ever do any national enduros like that or anything?
No, I haven't done any national enduros. I've done some sprint enduros. I actually did really well at a couple of them I did last year. I would like to do some national enduros because, I grew up here, here in West Virginia, just riding, just
Trail.
Trail. Versus like the GNCCs, like I really like GNCCs and stuff. But like you go out on a Saturday afternoon on your e-bike and it looks like we've already raced on the track with all the e-bike tracks on it and stuff. Like, it's crazy. So I almost would like us not to be even able to look at the track. Everybody that runs afternoon can't look at the track. I would be game for that. And I
would too, honestly. I would the problem is the whole e-bike world now is a whole nother side of it. It's money wise coming in for Specialized, who sponsors the whole series and everything. Right. But yeah, I was saying that we had the GNCC meeting at the end of the year, and I was like, "Can we go back to just riding Sunday again?" Because originally, like years ago when I started racing them, they only let us check out the track Sunday, and so it was like kind of crappy, but kind of good. Like it sucked having to get up early and go try to look at the track. And that was before e-bike time. So you were just out there on a regular mountain bike or walking and checking out the track. But I thought it wasn't as crazy as far as everyone doing 3-4 laps throughout a weekend.
Right.
Checking out the track and knowing every line that they want to know and what they're going to do. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
Now, this might be hard to implement, and I'm sure you would end up getting into like protest wars, but like what if you could implement a rule where you're allowed to ride the track whenever you want, but you only have one lap?
Yeah. I don't know how to do
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That would be probably a difficult one to catch people, because they're just going to go across the side of the field somewhere and hop in and do another lap, but
if you could keep people honest, I think it would, that way you have a sense of the track.
Yeah.
But then again, has the GNCC, and both of you would be able to answer this question way better than Brandon and I, has GNCC been to most of these properties so many times that you guys already have a pretty good idea of where you're going?
Yeah, the track can be, Ricky, I'm sure he'll agree with this. The track can be ran a couple different directions, and then like even if they don't run that spot for a year and then, you go back 2 years later and you run that section of the track, you still have it somewhat memorized. And that's why the speeds are getting higher too at each race, is because everybody's memorized everything. And also I think they ought to switch it up and just run dirt bikes on Saturday and quads on Sunday. I think they need to do that. That way we got some fresh trails, so we're not riding quad ruts. So.
Wait, what's your thoughts, Rick?
Yeah, no, it seems like when I first came over, it was like after 2 years, you've ran every track both directions, because they pretty essentially just flip them around every year. Yeah. And so you kind of know where you're at on the track, and you kind of have it figured out. But they add some bike onlys here and there, but generally it's the same track. But the lines do change a little bit. But it's funny because like 1 year you'll go there and you'll see this hot line here, whatever. It ends up becoming the main line, and then the next year that's just the main line. You don't even realize that's a hot line anymore. So it's like the courses keep getting like burnt in more and more.
Like
all
the tracks
hot
are
lines.
getting wider.
Main track, yeah, they're just wider and wider. So
Sounds like it's almost getting more, because you guys are so good at basically straight lining these tracks. That it sounds like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of what's happening, and that's becoming the main line, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, it's they're slowly getting more and more straightened out, and they dose them in between quads to our races. And like I was actually just talking to someone else about this not long ago. Back when I started, it was like we always rode just crappy hard pack quad trail, and now it seems like they always dose them in between, and it's actually like more like a motocross where it's like gets super ruddy and gnarly like almost every single race. When it's super dry, it can only do so much, but yeah, it seems like every track's way more rutted than it used to be when I started back in 13, 14.
So the other thing is like as these tracks are, at least in my thought, maybe is like as we're getting more one lined and wider, is that why we're getting more GP style tracks, more and maybe not so much more technical?
Yeah, for sure. When we start heading north, they do get more technical, which is good. You get a little more rocks and roots and just a little more technical. But yeah, no, down here in the south for sure, it's like they're pretty open and pretty fast. And like you said, we all know kind of the tracks.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the bad thing about that is that I know that they are constantly on the search for new properties and everything, but
they're just
800 acre with a perfectly flat 300 acre field is hard to find.
1,000 entries in the morning is insane. Just trying to find a track for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard something like they need at least like 100 acres for parking or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like they need a lot of parking. So yeah, it's hard to find places. Unfortunately, we've narrowed down to way less places than in the past years, which partial reasoning was COVID, I think. But they were trying to go to states and stay away from other states. But yeah, I don't know. We should be going back to them now. So
yeah, right. And then another track that this track's been brought up a lot lately is Unadilla. It seems like that track is actually, you guys have kind of outgrown that track.
The track.
Yeah, that track was super fun.
Yeah, it was short though, I think, wasn't it?
It was short. Yeah, super short. And like, I remember watching the morning race one time. The women were coming around before the last row went off.
Oh wow!
So they were all messed up and scoring because the last row hadn't started yet, and then the women were already going by, and it was a mess. But yeah, because also it's one of their biggest turnouts was there,
right?
And then that on the combination of the 8 mile track, it was we outgrew it for sure. If there was a little more land, it would be sweet because a lot of people like that place. I like that place, but
I never went to that place, but just watching, I watched a lot of YouTube videos, like helmet cams of that place. And it always seemed like it was very raceable. Even for the quads, it just looked like there were so many different lines. Like it looked like just the wood cover, the forest wasn't quite as dense up there. So it allowed people to kind of spread out and make these really, really wide line tracks.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. And it's always cool. Like Unadilla, we watched on motocross for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And it's just always cool to jump on and off of that track and just, I don't know, it's a cool vibe. Just us off-road guys, we like to, when we do get to go on those cool tracks, it's cool during a race.
So I always thought it was cool seeing you guys hit the sky shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Little sky shot.
I think the last year they ran there, I can't remember if it was the last year. I can't remember what year they did that, but I think I might have been in B class. It might have been my first year on a big bike. And I might have ran A class there as soon as we moved up. The one track I wish they would bring back would be Powerline Park. And a lot of people disagree with me with that place, but man, I love Powerline Park. So park slick and just fast. I liked it.
I heard rumors they were talking to them again, but because I thought that place might have got shut down for a little bit because of a lawsuit or something. I don't know.
That's what I heard too.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. Like most time people hate the hard pack crappy races, which don't love them, but I always do really well at them for some reason. So it makes me like them more. But yeah, that place was always really like hard pack and kind of like skatey, and it was mainly quad trail. So it was good. Besides that stupid jump, one year, like I think everyone scorpioned. But
So,
yeah.
well,
I just saw one of our listeners, Craig, just said that A-Works is racing at Powerline Park this year. So maybe that is in the works for potential GNCC get back there.
Well, if they're racing, I'll probably head up there and do that one then with, race the A-Work series and do that one because that was probably my old-time favorite track. I love that place. So,
when it was good. There was one year it was really muddy and it was kind of like it was tricky. It was slick.
I remember that because that was what 2017, I want to say.
Yeah,
something like that.
I think so. Yeah,
because I just moved up to A class, and man, I remember it being so slick out there.
Yeah, I got knocked away.
yeah, like you could barely get up the up the little hills and stuff. Like it was just like you're riding on just ice. I mean, it was terrible.
Have we ever ran GNCC? Have they ever been to Loretta Lynn's?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay, so I thought,
it's been a while.
Why we haven't been back there? I wonder. I mean, we obviously got enough.
Don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
That was another good.
Yeah, another good one.
It had the EMTB. Was it EMTB only last year?
Right, and they obviously got plenty of parking. So, I don't know.
Yeah, lots of parking. They had the e-bike race there the last 2 years, I think, or maybe 3. But they do around there. And Barry Hawk, my team manager, his son races all the e-bike classes. So they always go to that. And yeah, I'm wondering. I don't know. That's a good question. I should question them on that, why they don't go there. I don't know if there's not enough land or what the deal is. But I've only been there once, and it was pretty fun. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I was keep thinking of like motocross facilities, because they obviously have enough parking, and stuff. So I'm like, like High Point, they run there most of the time twice a year, and everywhere else. But I just keep thinking of like these big motocross properties and that might have some woods and have plenty of parking, some new stuff. But I don't know. Curious.
Yeah. So, I mean, going into the rest of the season, do you have a particular track that you have circled that you're excited to go to? I would, from the outsider looking in, I would say Snowshoe would be the one you had circled, right?
Yeah, no doubt. For some reason I like that place. It's good. I go into each weekend, each race with the same mindset, but yeah, there is definitely some races that I'm like, oh yeah, I like this place. So I go into it with a little more enthusiasm. I don't know. I just Snowshoe has always been just because there's like super fast, catchy roads, which is a little bit like those. And everyone says I'm stupid for how fast I go down them, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're going that fast. Yeah, it's Taylor Roberts or some desert racer. He'd be like, "You guys are going slow," but yeah, I don't know. So there's the super sketchy roads and then the super gnarly technical sections. So I like it's like best of both worlds. I like both of those things. So Snowshoe definitely need to go. Definitely this last year I, of course, broke something. I broke my pinky going to that race, and I wanted to still race it, so I still did, and ended up, I don't know, like 6th, 7th. So not awesome, but yeah, with a broken pinky, I was still like happy with it. So hopefully going to this race or this year healthy and a little more rock riding. Like definitely want to go ride in PA some and ride some rocks beforehand. But I like that one, and usually I like Ironman. So Ironman's usually pretty dang good.
Do we like Hoosier or Ironman? Which one?
Ironman.
Well, typically Ironman, but last year the jet skis would have definitely done better.
I made it to the 2-mile marker before I deep sixed my bike and turned it into a boat instead of a dirt bike. So.
Oh,
that was 1.5 miles further than Stu.
Yeah, because we passed him as soon as we went into the woods off the start.
Oh,
terrible. I made it to the deep creek, and then my bike stopped, and then I flipped it over and got it running again, and it was making the most terrible noises I've ever heard a dirt bike make. And it still made it for another lap and a half, but yeah, then it was done.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Stu, have you been down at the Shoals training mostly, or?
Yeah, I've been here with Stu and his crew pretty much since I guess after Florida. Really, I've been up here. So I went home to Washington for a week or two just to kind of regroup and let the shoulder heal. And then since then, I got back the week of Camp Coker, so last week. And so yeah, we've been down here. It's been a good crew of guys that are all wanting the same thing. So it's been good. We push each other. Me and my teammate Ryder, which Ryder absolutely killed it last weekend, which was awesome to see. We've been riding together, and then a few of his guys. So yeah, it's been good. The Shoals has a lot to offer. It's got so many moto tracks and then a lot of woods tracks too. So it's been good.
Man,
It's just warming up finally.
Yeah, seeing the aerial picture of that place is just, it's wild. I mean, he's really turned that place into a insane complex.
Yeah, full on facility, and they got the huge building they just put in, and the gym's almost ready in that. So it's definitely crazy. Over the last, I think, like 4 or 5 years, it's like totally changed. I get a memory every year because I've always been buddies with Stu, so we'd come ride with him here and there. And I got a memory every year of us like out in the middle of that where now it's a full blown moto track. We had just like a little turn track out there, and we're so stoked on the dirt out there and how cool this track was, this turn track. And now it's like a full blown moto track that you could descend the national. So
yeah, that place is sweet though, man. They prep something every day for you to ride too down there. So I mean, it's definitely. Exactly. I mean, it's definitely one of the best facilities around for sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, the GNCs are getting like more and more rutted since they doze them every weekend, and that's the Shoals is one place that you do not lack ruts. The ruts are so deep. So, and I've always struggled with ruts, so it's been good down here riding them. Honestly, just practicing on them.
So, who drives you more crazy? A Stu that is on a bike and able to push you with being on a bike, or a Stu in a neck brace that is yelling at you?
Yeah. I'd rather be riding with him. I'm bummed for him, but yeah, he's always in good spirits still, neck brace or not. He likes to yell at kids and have a good time still. We actually went bow fishing this week, so that was good. Got him back out.
We had him on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about getting out, going bow fishing soon. And at the time he wasn't quite ready, so we were talking about if he was able to hook or rig a crossbow up with a with a bow fishing rig. And he said he looked into it, but it didn't seem like it was going to work. So he's able to get the bow back now, right?
Yeah, he's got her dialed, and he's been taking his neck brace off more than he should probably.
That's not surprising.
He's definitely like getting more healed up and more comfortable. But the first time he had his neck brace on, he was crashing the boat a lot because he could not turn to see where the heck he was going. So now without the neck brace, he's definitely a lot better driver too.
Oh, shit.
So, had you ever went bow fishing before, Stu, what do you think of bow fishing? That's something I've always wanted to try to do, but it's really not a thing too much up here in West Virginia.
Yeah, I honestly never even thought it was a thing.
Yeah, that's why I figured.
Yeah, I lived in Travelers Rest with the Yamaha guys for years, and I started coming down here with him and now his mechanic, Corey, and we'd started going. Or they were already going, but I started going with them, and yeah, it's a different sport for sure, but it's addicting. It's like you're just when you're seeing fish, it is wild. You're just constantly shooting, reeling, and trying to get them in the boat. But it's exciting. I don't know. I definitely just even after last night, because we had a really good night, am pretty addicted.
I was kind of disappointed Stu didn't take me out bow fishing when I was down there for a couple weeks. So.
Were you dropping subtle hints?
What is it?
Were you dropping subtle hints?
I don't know.
Like, hey, look, Stu, I got my bow in my truck.
Apparently not a big enough hint.
Yeah.
He was probably too busy yelling at me to go faster.
Well, the water just started warming up, so he's like, the fish are just starting to get good. That's his whole thing. The water starts warming up, that's when the fish get good. But yeah, it's competitive too. It's like, who's got the most fish in the boat? Who's got it? It's we're trying to be competitive.
Somebody's stealing somebody's fish. Like, I got these 5 over here. Yeah. So what's the next 3 weeks looking like? So we got this off recovery and just hitting everything you can, or?
Yeah, I'm like I said, I just like I hadn't been racing and I want to get back to like race shape, which is it's like you can train and ride all you want, which is good, but it's like once you get out there for the 3 hours, it's just a little bit different level. So I'm planning on doing this weekend. I plan on doing a Mid-East. There's one not that far away, and it's Saturday because Easter Sunday, and then the next weekend we might go rip Southwick J-Day. We'll see. It's kind of far, but we'll see. And then there's an Enduro, and then GCC. So that's kind of like we'll see. I kind of go play it as it goes, but kind of the rough draft right now.
You ever going to come back and do a Mountain State Hare Scramble? I remember you did one the year I ran. So
yeah, that was good. It was rocky and kind of good practice for like your rounds. I remember that. I did it. Someone messaged me and said there was some big payouts. I was like, okay, sweet. It makes it worth it. And right, it was good. Me and Craig DeLong battled a little bit that day.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Was that the one over in Fairmont?
That was the one in Elkins. That was the Forest Festival race.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was bummed that day because I bent my chain guard in a rock section, and then I just got to watch Ricky and them guys go by me like until I got picked up.
Hey, you got a good seat to the show, right?
I did. Got a really good seat. But that was pretty cool. I remember that because like everybody's like, Ricky Russell's here. I was like, what? You don't get to see that too much around here.
Yeah. Mountain State. I think that's the only one I've ever done.
Yeah, so, it was. Yeah, as far as I know.
Well, I'm sure you'll be over. I'm sure you'll be over at the Coastal Shop too, won't you? I mean, here this summer. So I mean, come out and play a few Mountain States.
Usually, what I do, like once the weather starts getting better, migrate north and stay at the Coastal Shop, and still try to do some locals throughout the weekend. So maybe we'll make it to one.
Yeah.
Brandon, I was just getting ready to tell you. You remember when Ricky was one of our first guests on this show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our first bike guest.
He was our first bike guest. So yeah, man, seems like it was so long ago.
You hold a special place.
Yeah, you hold a special place in our heart for that. Because like a lot of guys are like, who the hell are you guys?
Yep.
Yeah. Now we're 72 shows deep into this thing. So yeah, we appreciate you coming on again.
No worries. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, absolutely, man. And hey, you scored some major points in our fantasy game this past weekend. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
I saw your post. I didn't even realize that was a thing, but yeah, I had a good handicap, fortunately, so that was good.
I mean, when you miss 3 races.
Yeah, when you miss it. So the way we have the handicaps working right now is only the top 20 get an actual handicap, and then anybody outside the top 20 is an automatic 22 handicap. So there was a few people that had the insight that that you were coming back this weekend, and they scored some major points.
Nice. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. You guys do that.
Yeah,
we're trying to make it a thing. Like right now we're operating it off of basically just kind of by hand. People are sending us their teams via Messenger, Instagram, stuff like that. Next year we're going to have a website up and running, and I won't have to manually put in everybody's teams. That kind of sucks.
A lot more work than you expected.
It was a lot more than I was expected. Like we didn't really announce that we were going to do it until like the week before because we didn't want too many people and then just to be overwhelmed and then like crap it for everybody. So we just kind of downplayed it and hoping like maybe only 20 some people played, but like we're almost at 100 people playing right now, and it's
quiet.
It's a little bit of work, but
sure. That's pretty badass, though.
Yeah, we're hoping to make it a thing, and it kind of promotes
up-and-coming riders.
Yeah, you ended up being the major scorer this weekend, but it kind of helps promote guys that are just rising up to battle for that top 20 position, because those are the ones that end up scoring the most points, and then typically, like you would typically not score that many as many points.
for sure. Hopefully we can continue to keep racing so I don't have that big of a handicap.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So, actually, Brandon, you know what? We've not yet had anybody mad at us for their handicap yet.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
But like the handicaps are just basically based off of where you're at in the top 20, so they can't really be mad at us, I guess.
No,
Big,
for sure.
we're going to put Ben Kelly like a -20 because that dude just on rails.
He definitely needs. Yeah, you lose points if you pick him.
He's at a -3 right now, so you're only getting 4th place points if he ends up winning. So, but people are still picking him.
He's definitely killing it right now. That sucks. It sucks to watch and not be healthy. But now, like I said, getting back going. Yeah, hopefully we can be up there battling with him because he's rolling.
So you talked a little earlier. You talked about how you were right behind him for a while. How long were you able to keep toe with him? And is the pace he running that much faster, or do you think it's more of a like an attrition of the entire class kind of being depleted? Which do you think plays more into the fact of his dominance role right now?
Honestly, it's probably a little bit both.
Mm-hmm.
But he also is like. He's got a strategy, I think, a little bit. He is just going at the beginning so hard that he just leaves everyone, and then he just manages the race from there. And he can ride. He can not trail ride, but he can go fast here and ease up here and go fast here, and like I said, manage his gap. And he's had big gaps at every race. So not every race. The first couple he was like a little bit. He'd still got a big gap by the end. Yeah. He had big gaps every race.
Mm-hmm.
But the last couple, he just gets in the front early and checks out and controls it. So I think that's a little bit of strategy. Then also he's obviously been working hard and came in super prepared. So not taking anything away from him. He's on another level right now.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. Again, I'm excited to see people like you back in, and we're hoping that you guys are able to stay healthy through the rest of the season, because by the end of the season, or towards, when you get a few races under your belt, man, we're excited to see you start pushing for that podium battle, and maybe even bringing the battle to Ben a little bit. That'd be awesome to see.
That's the goal, man. That's the goal. It's a little bit. I gotta, like this weekend, gotta walk before you can fly. So, but just getting back. That's what I want to do, is go get my feet wet again and kind of get out. My goal was top 5, which I was 6th in class, 7th overall, thanks to Ryder. But so I did kind of what I wanted to do. I want to do it slightly better, but like I said, I'm healthy and finished a 3-hour. Actually feeling good. So hopefully just keep building and baby steps. We got, like I said, 3-4. This is like the longest break we've ever had between GNCCs in mid-season.
Yeah.
Kind of weird, but we have 4 weeks, I think, until the next one. So hopefully just keep the grind going and come back and swinging in 4 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we kind of, even though we've had this schedule sitting in front of us all season, we kind of
forgot about the break.
And now we got we got to figure out what to talk about for 3 weeks.
I was the same way. I was like, I knew there was a break. I just did. For some reason, I was thinking 3 weeks, and then
just like an extra week. Yeah, that's kind of what we were thinking.
Long for GNCC, and then because normally it's every 2, but the last 2 years they've always had a 3 week, and now they got a 4 week. So yeah, it's different. But I kind of like it. Kind of like a little bit of recharge the batteries, and for me, I need to build and get back to where I was. So.
This year's probably good to let everybody heal up.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because strength should probably be back, and
he should be back. He was, from his posts, sounded like he was like almost on the edge for Camp Coker, but he wasn't quite ready. So
yeah. So maybe you guys will have a good front XC1 by the time Hoosier rolls around.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Hopefully see a healthier XC1 after the summer break.
Yeah.
Stu should be getting back going too by then, hopefully. Necks are serious. You don't want to mess with those, but after summer break he should be solid.
Should be good.
He was telling us he would like to race snowshoe, but I say take that extra time.
Honestly, not something to mess with. When
Yeah.
that guy's crazy. Just to finish after it happened, and he already lost feeling in his legs, and then they came back. Like, I don't know if you're dumb or strong, but it was pretty gnarly to finish. So
It sounds like a little bit of a perfect combination of both of those. So.
Yeah, and a little bit of luck because that could have gone really bad.
Yeah,
but,
that could have been bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For very fortunate right there. So,
yeah,
but hey, Ricky, man, we're really excited. Like I said, pumped to have you back in the series. And like when we saw that you were lining up this weekend, I was like, oh man, we got to reach out to Ricky and see if he wants to come on, because it was cool to see you back and cool to see you racing right there at the top where you should be. And yeah, man, we're looking forward to seeing what you do the rest of the series.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks. It was good. Like I said, 6th, 7th place isn't ideal, but yeah, it was just awesome to be back out there and actually battling with some of the fast guys for a little while. So it was good. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem, man. We'll keep her on 2 and keep getting those starts.
Yeah, that's the plan. Whole shots.
I need some of those starts. I definitely need some of those starts you're getting.
All right, Ricky. Well, we're going to let you go, man. We appreciate your time tonight. And hey, we'll talk to you down the road, buddy.
Sounds good. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
You too, man.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
We'll see you.
All right,
Yeah, it's pretty cool to hear from Ricky Russell. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, man. Like we talked to, I was watching the bar to bar series that the GNCC is putting on, or Racer TV is putting on this year. And by the way, that is awesome. The bar to bar, or not the bar to bar.
I was gonna say, I was like, what are you talking about? Between the arrows.
Between the arrows. But why'd you agree with me?
I don't know.
We're just going with you. We're going with you.
He was shaking his head like, I agree. I enjoy it too.
He's going to tell you that you're wrong. I mean,
bar to bar. What am I thinking?
I'll let him tell you you're wrong.
bar to bar is actually an MX track down in
yeah. Daggone it. You got to be better than that, Brendan. You got to correct me when I'm wrong. You don't agree with me.
We're going to make the Brandon and Brendan show. We're going to kick him out.
It sounded so like serious. I thought it was like bar to bar there for a second. Like,
it sounds like a good name for a podcast. Bar to bar.
Bar to bar.
You know, somebody would have thought about that. I mean, when they were making.
I kind of like SplitLine.
Yeah,
it's my favorite
that's good.
name
it's
for
okay.
the podcast.
It's not bad.
It's not too shabby. It's not too shabby. No, but the Between the Arrows is really cool this year. But where I was getting at is, when you watch the bikes this weekend from Between the Arrows, that row 1 just looks so small. Like Ricky said, there was like 9 guys on it, and that really, you would like to see a good, like, at least double digits on the front row, 20 or I'm sorry, 15, 20 guys. That'd be ideal.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this season's definitely taking a hit on a lot of riders. I would say next year you might see a few more XC2 guys get an XC1 though too, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I'd say there's a few of them that are ready to make that move.
Well, you only have one chance to defend, right?
Yes.
So Johnny Gerard, I mean, this was his chance to defend, so he's going to have to go up. So, and then you're going to have the champion from this year, obviously, whether that's Witkowski, Snodgrass,
Ryder Lafferty.
Man, that class has all of a sudden become very interesting.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier. The series is, we're not very deep into the series, so I mean anything can happen with the amount of races that are left. I mean, we're not even halfway through yet. So
there was a couple of classes that at first you had a couple of winners that just kind of jumped out, and then all of a sudden you're getting a lot of parity in the sport, whether it be on 2 wheels or 4 wheels. Mike Witkowski has had a couple of bad races, which has let Snodgrass catch up. And I think he even has a points lead right now, doesn't he? I'm not sure about that, but I know if not, it's pretty close.
Right.
So we only really have 2 classes that are runaways, and that's the XC1 Pro dirt bike class and the XC2 ATV class with Shad taking the. He seems like he's having a lot of fun over there.
Oh yeah.
Remember, he said he's just got to keep it fun. If he starts getting serious about it, then he gets.
So did you guys? I don't know if you watched it, Brendan, but did you guys end up catching the Pulp show this week?
Yes.
With McGrath
I missed it.
and Carmichael. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because
You don't bring up other shows in this
I
show.
know, it's
We can't
ridiculous.
do that.
We can't do that. Anyways,
Podcasts don't talk about other podcasts.
listen, you can talk about some. All right. It's not others.
Uh-huh.
So anyways, it was Caleb Russell, was he the Ricky Carmichael of GNCC, to kind of where he kind of, I don't want to say took all the fun out of it, but
Change the sport.
he changed the sport kind of like Carmichael did. Like they kept picking on him about how, when he showed up, like Jeremy McGrath and all those guys were all just like shooting the breeze, having a great time. And then Carmichael comes out and then changes the sport and makes, you have to actually start training and all this stuff. Do you think, KR was kind of like that for us?
Yeah, and I think he had a couple of good guys to feed off of on that. I mean, you had Whibley, super hard worker.
Mhm.
He put a lot of work in. I mean, you had Mullins.
Mhm.
He dealt with a lot of guys to, figure that out. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I think he definitely stepped the game up, and that's why you see this new style of GNCC,
especially the speed. How fast he could go the whole 3 hours, and remember when Stu came back after that break, and he kind of said he was watching would go back and watch footage and how Caleb would do it, and how he would run the race, and he's pretty much like, dude, it's like a moto pace, like you got to run it like a motocross race. And so I was just thinking about that. I was like, man, I wonder if if KR is like the Ricky Carmichael, suck the fun out. Everybody has to train now before you can really hard and they run that pace.
And is Walker that for the four wheels?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. I mean, I think so too, because, and Brendan, I don't know how much you have followed the ATVs, but Chris Borsch had a completely different style of winning. Yeah, he won a lot of championships in a row, but he was always the guy that just did enough to win.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, because I was pretty little still at the time, and when he was riding for Suzuki, I think I wasn't very old at that time. So
yeah.
Which that was what, 2000, probably 8.
Yeah, back in his championship days.
Yeah, so I was just got off of 50, I think. So I maybe got on 65, still might have been on 50s. But he, from all the races I remember watching of him, he would make passes really late in the race. Last lap pass you win. I think balance was a good one to, because he was always consistent. Balance was always, that seemed to be pretty consistent from, the videos and stuff I've seen, which, but yeah, I mean, Borsch, he definitely had good racecraft to be able to pull that off, them late into the races every time. So, and then you had Walker that, kind of stepped it up and tried to run away early, and there was a couple years there that he would take off and he'd be completely gone minutes ahead on the first couple laps, just gone. And he wouldn't stop charging until he got to the finish either. I mean, so every lap was like a sprint lap for him. And I think that's like Neil and them, like there's a lot of guys catching on and starting to figure that out. And I mean, that's kind of like the evolution of anything, even Supercross and stuff, you see it. I mean, the speeds and stuff, that's why everything's getting so much faster. Equipment's getting better. People are getting smarter. They got trainers. Everybody's watching their nutrition, and every bit of those little things add up. And there's somebody that was doing it before everybody every time. So, and then everybody kind of figures that out. And then it takes another person to, step it up and kind of go a little bit farther with it. And I think like Bryson's kind of figuring it out on that side of how to elevate his game. He's matched Walker's, and now he's trying to elevate it just a little bit more. Yeah.
And it's cool to see. It's cool to see like the generational talents like coming up like that, and you like talk about Bryson and how he's catching Walker, and then trying to add on to that. But then you watch like it's crazy nowadays what Racer TV is able to do with the drone footage and everything, and you're watching it in real time where Walker is seeing it and then matching it and trying to elevate himself too. And what we're creating is between those two guys is something that they are pushing themselves to a limit, and then right now currently leaving everybody else a little bit further behind.
But then you got guys like Hunter Hart that they're and probably Ronnie Rush in a couple of years, and Austin Adney and all those guys, they're watching this and they're running with these guys, and then a couple of those guys are going to like elevate that pace, and that's what gets scary. You know what I mean? Because it's getting scary now. These guys are going fast,
Yeah.
bike side and quad side. You know, Ben Kelly and him. Can you imagine if it just keeps elevating and elevating? It's like, where's it stop?
Yeah.
You know, where's it stop?
And I know you've never been a lapper in this situation, but I know for experience that like when these guys are coming up on you and you think you're going fast, because like I mean, I would go to Mountain State races and I would hold my own and be a top 10-ish rider, but then you go to the big house and the speeds that they're running, like you think that you're running fast and all of a sudden it's just like they're there. And it's amazing to see it firsthand. Like when you watch it on TV and you watch it, in person, you don't get a full appreciation of the speeds until you're behind it and try to keep up with it or try to at least just look at it while you are running. And it's beyond something that I can comprehend. And we talk about these guys elevating the sport and elevating themselves. And one thing that, we give McGill like a hard time and joke around with him a lot, but for somebody that was in him and McClure mainly, like McClure was used to the old style of Chris Borsch and McGill grew, and like those guys were established in that style of GNCC. And for this new style of GNCC to come on and really elevate, like Bryson and Walker to elevate, and then you see somebody like McGill slip in a win, or you see Jared McClure finish a close second or third this year. It's cool to see the elder statesmen of the sport be like, okay, we can figure this out too.
Yeah, I mean, because I've watched a lot of, of the races and stuff, and McClure, a lot of his wins I've seen have come in the end also with Borsch, the same way he does it. I think like McGill, he's super consistent. I think like he's always there. So like, but he got to grow up racing with Borsch and McClure, and I think he raced Balance for a while
maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure that
because I remember McGill back Mid-Atlantic Hare Scramble days. And I was like 4 years old, I think, because that's when I started racing. And he was on I believe a TRX. He was dominating everything around here at the time. Him and Gabe Phillips came along, Zach Phillips. You had all them guys. And but yeah, I mean, the progression of everything is definitely upping. People are putting more money into it. There's different sponsors coming in. There's people living at training facilities now. So, I mean, like, it's going to keep elevating until,
That's the biggest thing is like training facilities. And you always heard about motocross and supercross. Like that started over there. Now it's coming over here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the Shoals is going to be a big one. I think Stu sees it. I think Stu sees it coming. I think that's why he's doing it down there really good. It's just the kids now are so fast, and it's crazy. I know Nolan and stuff. These 5 and 6 year olds and 7 year olds are going so fast, and then they come off and they're like going to go watch Power Rangers or whatever else. They're like be a kid again, but they're like when you watch them ride, you're like, dude, that don't even look like a kid. Like they're hauling.
And then look at the racecraft that you see, whether it be on social media or TV or at the GNCCs, the racecraft and the ability to manipulate the machines that you're seeing these kids on Stasics do.
Yeah.
Like those bikes are so light that they're learning how to have good form on such a innocent, not danger piece of equipment.
Yeah. And I mean, also you got so many different platforms to look at now too. Cause back, say 20 years ago, you didn't necessarily have YouTube to go off of something. Or, these kids they're studying everything that everybody's doing. You can really, I mean, like if you go to Stu's too, like if you're not doing something right, he'll tell you. I mean, and that's good. I mean, that's what you want.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of these guys are offering a helping hand these days too. So, it's definitely helping groom the generations that are coming up. Because like I said, I mean, if Stu sees you doing something wrong, he's going to tell you. I mean, and when I was down there, I mean, he helped me out quite a few things. So he tell him, yeah. But
He yelled you a lot.
yeah, he yelled at me a lot. So I can't repeat exactly what he told me.
Did he make you feel like a redheaded stepchild?
Yeah. He was. He'll let you have it too. So, but yeah, you got people like Stu and then Caleb, like he's training. Well, I mean, even Ben and some of the guys. I mean, he's helping those guys out and stuff.
Caleb seems like his training facility is more like exclusive though, right?
Yes, yeah. I think his is more like
for now.
Yeah, for like the KTM guys,
Yeah.
so to speak. And then
I would say he's going to be like a Stu, and I think he's going to.
You think?
I think so.
And then you got like the knowledge of like the past guys too. You got a Barry Hawk that's going coastal. That knowledge goes a long way.
Oh yeah.
You got Freddie Andrews with Babbitt's Cowie. I mean, there's so many people that are involved that I mean, there's a lot of experience there that really helps. You know, they know how to get stuff done.
Right.
So
And then you got like guys like Coach Rob Beams that like look what he did with Mike Witkowski. Like, you know, Mike was having a lot of health. He was having a lot of issues with his fitness because of health reasons and everything, and he was able to really bring his career to another level. And we got him coming on the show next week. So, all you guys
have any questions?
Get your paper out and so it'll be a good show. But you know, the whole sport has really transformed into a professional athlete sport, and with that has come a lot higher speeds.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, back in the pro day, I mean, shoot, the guys will go and probably race and then come back and probably smoke a cigarette or drink a beer, you know, have beers.
Stu still does that.
Well, I mean, he still does that. But, I mean, after he ran a 3-hour race at pace, he could have a couple and be okay, you know?
Calories.
Yeah,
You're pretty far.
Got to recover.
Yeah, you got to recover, right?
But, you know, they're probably doing it the night before, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's just crazy to see how the sports just keeps elevating and changing and getting to where it's more of a fitness issue than it is sometimes more than a riding issue. So
yeah. So, you know, one thing we forgot to do at the beginning of the show with all the craziness going on, we need to do the rundown for all the pro classes this weekend.
I didn't know if you had it. I was going to mention it, and I didn't want to call you out on it, but.
Come on, listen to you. I've almost called you out on it.
I know, right?
So in the 4x4, the pro ATV class, Hayden Nicholson took the win. Brandon Frazier took second, and Burke Marsagla took third. So I'm so
sure you
sorry.
butchered that. You butchered that.
I'm so sorry. But Hayden is coming on, and that class is getting pretty interesting.
Yeah, because you know, since Landon has been to all of them.
Yeah, Landon was actually at this one, and he ended up DNFing first time, and I think he said 67 races.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah, unfortunately, Landon, friend of the show, but ended up not being able to finish this past weekend. And then over in the WXC class, Caitlin Osborne took the win, her second win in a row, and that class is also getting very interesting. Tracy Pickens finished second. She's now in the lead in points. Jessica Eloff took third, and then where did Hannah Hunter ended up finishing 10th? So she's had a couple bad races in a row.
I wonder if she had like a mechanical.
She only finished 3 laps out of 4, so I'm assuming she had something go on in that third lap. And then over in the XC2 class, again, Jay Shadron is doing his thing over there and making it 5 for 5. Wyatt Wilkin finished second, and then Steve Harrell. Man, Steve Harrell has really come on this year.
Yeah. Came out of the I don't know what came out of the woods, I guess.
Yeah, Steve came out of the woods, came right out of the woods. Steve, if you're listening, you're a big favorite when it comes to fantasy. I end up selecting your name a lot for a lot of these teams. So
I've been scared. I've been like, should I or should I not? But he seems to be for real now. So
yeah,
I'll have to start circling that.
Well, I mean, he's for real now, but you're kind of missing the train because his handicap's going lower.
Down. I know.
So you're thinking about picking him? I'm going to make his handicap even lower this week. And the XC1 class, you had finished first, Walker finished second, and John Galata finished third. Congratulations again to him for his first ever podium. But man, there was a good battle between Hunter and Devin for that fourth place position. Hunter ended up coming up on top. But I tell you what. Those three right there, John Galata, Hunter Hart, and Devin Feehan, that's definitely the next generation to be pushing up like we talked about a little bit ago.
Yeah.
And then over in the morning bike class, Caleb Russell ended up taking the overall. As we know, Zach Osborne took second. Who is that? Zach
I don't
Osborne.
know. I
Never heard
don't
of him.
know.
Taylor Jones, she ended up taking the win over in the girls, the women's division. Corey Steed coming on strong.
Yeah.
That man, all these classes are getting really interesting. You've had multiple winners in each class, and it's becoming fun. Really fun to be a fan and watch the parity in the sport. And then Brewer, that's in Sportsman's.
Collie.
Collie. He took.
Today, Junior.
He took third in the pro sport, but then Rachel Archer, she ended up taking the final podium spot for the women's class.
I love it.
Today, Junior. And then in the I forgot to get the XC3 class. Who won your class this weekend? Let's let Brendan do the XC3 class.
I believe it was Brody Johnson won, Zach Hayes second, Hunter Newworth third.
Okay.
And then I'm lost.
Right there. Yeah.
And then I ended up eighth. Wasn't a good weekend for me, so I'd rather not talk about the eighth place finish on the weekend. So
you're going to one of your favorite tracks next, right?
I'm going to one of my favorite tracks. So
you got the right hat on for it too.
Yeah, Hoosier. Yeah. Camp Coker hasn't treated me well since I think we started going there. So
don't feel bad. The last full gas sprint, I got beat by a 710 array. So
it was two-wheel drive though. That's what I keep saying.
Two-wheel drive. You mean four-wheel drive?
That thing would be a beat.
You mean four-wheel drive?
How would it be four-wheel drive, Brandon?
I don't know. That's what you said last show.
No, I didn't. I said two-wheel. Tell me, Brandon, how would it be four-wheel drive?
I don't know. You tell me.
It would have to have four wheels to be four-wheel drive.
I know that. So I was throwing a joke out there. Okay. No, yeah.
Imagine wrestling that big thing, dude.
Oh man, I don't know how he did. I kept telling him like,
could you imagine if
he's got an advantage? I don't know how he's got an advantage, but he's got an advantage.
Could you imagine if you tipped it over while your heart rate would be just picking it up?
Yeah.
Buried in a mud hole somewhere. That'd be not good.
It'd be almost like riding a quad.
Kinda.
Yeah.
You dirt bike guys.
The four-wheel quads.
the two-wheel drive four-wheel quads.
Yeah.
And then the XC2 class, Ryder Lafferty took the win there with a wild performance. He ended up, I think he ended up fifth or sixth overall.
Yeah.
He was another very good selection in the SplitLine fantasy realm. Lyndon Snodgrass with second, and Mike Witakowski with third. That championship's getting very interesting. So excited to see what comes out there. Right now, I mean, at first I thought Mike was going to run away with it, but right now I don't know. It looks like it's going to be a really good battle between those guys.
You know who we haven't talked about and you're getting ready to hit on it is the third place and Grant Baylor. I was just thinking back, who got third? Because I was,
Grizzly
everybody's
Grant.
talking about Ben Kelly. And it's good to see Grant back up there.
It was good to see Grant back up there. That's somebody that like I'm a really big fan of. I really like to see him do his thing and get up there and maybe because he started off last year with a win and then it just kind of like mediocre after that to his standards, I would say. But it's exciting to see him as the season progresses to get up there and get on the podium.
I definitely think he will, especially like a track like Snowshoe or something too.
Yeah.
He's good in that, that style when the tracks get tough.
Yeah.
He goes fast. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And then how about Trevor Bollinger with his second podium in a row? So congratulations to him finishing second overall.
I'm telling you, I look for him to really step it up and maybe give Ben a run. I don't know if he can run that pace, but he's been third and now he's second. There's only one place to go.
Yeah, I'd like to get all three of those guys on the show sometime.
Be nice.
I'm sure they'd be good interviews. It'd be fun to talk to them. I bet you Grant would be a good interview.
Yeah.
Well, like Ricky was saying too, it's just where Ben's getting away early. If somebody can just keep him in touch first 2 or 3 laps, and then
Make him work for it.
make him work for it in the beginning, and might take him out of his comfort zone at that point.
Yeah.
So, and yeah.
So do we all think in 4 weeks that Ben Kelly does what Caleb Russell couldn't do in that 6 in a row?
I think so.
I think so. I
I
mean, at this point in time, like Ricky, Ricky's not. He's still building, right?
Mhm.
So you don't.
I mean, he's got 4 weeks. He's got 4 weeks
Yeah,
to build.
but
And
Brendan, you could probably tell us like when you're building, are you able to build when you're not racing? When you're not racing the GNCC?
No, I don't think so. Even just if you have an injury, you take time off. Those guys are still progressing, and then you're playing catch up. And then I think that's why you see after summer break, you see that last 4 rounds, there's a lot of people that are potential winners because the people who got hurt at the beginning of the year gives them a chance to make that up over a summer break. Gives them something to build on for a while because you got to have a good base to really kind of elevate that. Because I mean, if you get hurt and you take 6 weeks off, and granted, I mean, a lot of these guys, I mean, even if you break an arm or something, you can still cycle, you can do stuff like that, but there's still no practice, none of that stuff. And your perception for speed, everything's off a little bit. So, I mean, it's just like if you got to stay up here during winter, you take a month off before going to the first round. You might, if you went south for 3 weeks, you might have been really fast. And if you come back, before the first round, you go back north and you don't ride for 3 weeks again, then your perception for speed, you can feel it is off. You just don't feel like what you did when you left from being down there riding time off is not good.
Right. So, I mean, it sounded like maybe Josh Strang could have raced Camp Coker. Do you think in this 4 weeks that, he gets back and doing some little races and is maybe a contender?
I think that by the time we get to Snowshoe, if these guys are able to stay healthy, like
that's, you guys keep talking about snow. That's a long way away. It's like,
well, I mean,
see,
it's going to go by fast.
How many rounds till Snowshoe?
Snowshoe. So we got 4 weeks to Hoosier, and then we got
how many
Hoosier,
actual rounds though?
So we got 1, 2, 3. So it'd be 4 rounds, and it's late June 25th to 26th.
I'd say if you give these guys 4 races to get back into racing shape, because like you, Brendan, there's nothing like being out there on the GNCC track racing. If you give them 4 races, not 4 weeks, not 8 weeks, not 10 weeks, but 4 actual races getting in there, I think by the time you get there, if they stay healthy, you got guys that could actually potentially get up there and challenge for a win. And Stu being the confident person that he is, with him telling us that he didn't think that, he kind of almost led us to believe that a win this year would probably be out of the question because of, he's lost a lot of strength. He's not even been able to do much of
anything.
Yeah. He's not been able to do anything, no working out, no nothing. So I'm sure that this whole year is going to be a building block for him. Man, I don't know. I mean, I really, really do think that the way this season has gone, that if there were a potential for a perfect season, I know Stu disagrees, but I think if there was a condition for a perfect season, this year is it.
Yeah. I still think it's going to be super hard to do. You got like Jordan Ashburn. He showed a lot of speed too.
Brandon's picking Jordan to win until Jordan doesn't win.
Right.
He's so consistent. If there is a mistake, he's going to win. I mean, he's just that consistent.
Yeah.
And not saying that he can't. I mean, he can definitely just go out there and win a race. No, I mean, without, say Ben didn't even have any problems and he won. But I mean, what I'm saying is, man, that guy, he's consistently there. I mean, top three every weekend, and consistency pays off after a certain amount of time. I mean, eventually somebody messes up.
It's been several years of consistency. And, we've we've talked, when we had him on the show, it was like, he feels like it's time too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I see him, and as early as we still are in the series, every round counts in the pro classes.
Right.
So you have a mechanical or something, you're you're gaining points back fast if you win. I
Right.
mean, so that's long year.
It's a long year.
A long year, and it's hard to keep
And I
a
mean,
bike.
could you imagine, and knock on wood, and I do not want this to happen, but could you imagine if Ben Kelly would have a little accident, and what would this do to the whole championship?
Oh man, these guys would be going nuts
Yeah.
to try
To get back.
because it'd be back to
Yeah. Almost anybody's game.
yeah,
Yeah.
level playing ground.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't want that to happen. So, but I'm just like throwing it out there like a cloud, like, because anything can happen, like practice crashes, anything. Like it's, you know how it is. Dirt bikes, you fall in a turn, and next thing you know, you got a broken collarbone. You're like, what the heck? It's just the way it works.
It's usually the little ones that get you too.
Right.
Like the high speed crashes tend to not get you as much as the slow ones for
Right.
some reason. But
Yeah. So I said, just thinking about that would just be like, oh man, the whole series would just be jumbled up. So, man, it's been a good show.
It has been a good show.
Yeah.
You're getting kind of tired. I'm getting kind of hungry.
Well, you know, after working 40 hours a week and coaching baseball and podcasting and trying to work out.
We're both coaching a C-ball team together.
oh boy,
Yeah.
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 It's quite the experience.
We had a game last night,
Mhm.
podcast tonight, game tomorrow. You know,
busy.
trying to fit in some training for racing and riding, and Easter Sunday. You know, it's a hard to do.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Not everybody can do it.
Brandon, actually, before you do your sponsor, Brandon, where can people find you to follow you on social media?
I'm on Instagram, Brendan Poling 326 on there. Definitely need some more followers. So It definitely looks better the more followers you got. So yeah, everybody get on there. And
I know
follow
Doug.
me.
I know Doug Kirk in the gang will go over there and follow you. Yeah, I mean, we appreciate you coming on the show tonight, man. And dude, it's been a good show.
Yeah, it's been a good show. I'm glad you guys had me on. This is the first time this is my second podcast with you guys, but this is the
First one in
live-
person.
Yeah, first one in person, first one live, because
It's it's our eighth one live, so you're not far behind us.
everybody's new to the game. I
That's
guess.
right. That's
yeah,
right.
definitely fun though. Different change of pace. So.
At the beginning of the show, you were probably starting to wonder. You're probably like,
Like,
"Oh, have
man,
these guys done this before?"
These
It looks
guys
pretty-
are whatever. You gotta love technology. Technology's the best.
I'm terrible with technology. So.
It's great.
We're not
I
that
play
good.
dining set, table and
Man, see, like we're not very good at it.
See, you got stuff like that going on. Brandon, do it.
Are you ready?
You know what to do.
Okay. Hey, so did you know that the T in guts actually stands for trick? So why wouldn't you want a trick seat on your bike?
Mhm.
You know, so go over to Guts, get you a gut seat cover, man, because it's gonna make your bike look trick. Even if you're
Greg's-
not fast. Even if you're not fast, it'll at least make you look good on the track.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And then go over to Still Savers, man. Save some 25% off with the code SplitLine. Get you some Still Savers, some hand savers, some foot peg savers, an Apple Watch saver. They got it all. Save your whole body, I think. You know what I mean?
Brandon, you put that bike through all kinds of hell.
Yeah. You got to save it, man.
Save
gotta
the
save it.
Savers.
Save the seals.
I mean, you know, so, and then, you know, XC gear. We got Brendan already told us how awesome it is.
Yes, sir. XC Gear is awesome.
That's awesome.
Great product, great people to work with. Just all around.
Right.
Lance
great
is the
company.
man.
Lance is the man, and yeah, all around great company.
That's right.
We're gonna have him on the show sometime. He wants to come on.
Right. So save you guys some arm pump, you know, cuts down on that stuff. And as Brendan said, like if you go down, you don't have to worry about your bars being twisted all up or, you know, all out of whack and try to find a tree or something to smack it back in. Happened a couple times to me before. So, you know, take care of it, man. You know, it's a little extra, you know, a little bit of money, but in the long run, it'll save you a lot of time and effort. Okay. And then what have we got next? Sunstar. How did I forget about Sunstar?
How do you forget? He's a Sunstar rider. You know he was featured in Sunstar magazine.
Not magazine. Not magazine. I wish it was a magazine. No, their blog.
Virtual magazine.
Go
That's
over,
cool.
go over
Yeah.
to Sunstar blog and check that out if you're interested. You hear enough from me on here, you go. So, but no, man, Sunstar is awesome. If you don't run them, I don't know what you're doing because obviously, you know what they're made
What
for?
do you run?
What do I run?
Yeah. Turn them on the spot. Look at that.
Actually, right now, I currently don't have a chain and sprocket sponsor.
Oh, there you go.
I've just kind of been running whatever.
Yeah.
Doug Kirk.
Doug Kirk needs
Doug
to hook
Kirk,
this guy up.
he's listening. So
And he's listening up. So
Brendan Poling,
he needs to be running that case hardened steel.
case hardened steel won't break a chain.
Yeah, that seal, nice sealed chain. Man, these things are awesome. I run them on mine, and they do great. And so you guys need to be running on yours. Don't have to worry about a chain and sprocket ever again until you wear it out, and it'll take some wear. So best money for the buck.
And then once you have all of that,
That's right. Go race. Go get, amateur, pro, XC pro guy right
go
here.
see if you can keep up with Brendan.
That's right.
Brendan's been the man to beat over at the Mount St. Harris Scramble.
or Adam McGill, go check them out because those guys are usually racing Mount St. Harris Scramble race. And even if you don't ride, if you're a fan, go check them out, man. There's a lot of good racers, a lot of good fun, and fun to be had.
Doug came through.
Ooh, maybe. See,
Man, I feel like Steve Mathis over here, like doing deals for people.
Doing deals while we're still in the podcast.
That's right.
We'll have to make what's he do with the pulp sticker? Like the helmet deal? We'll have to see if we can come up with a SplitLine helmet deal sticker.
We'll get you some stickers. Yeah, there we go.
I'll rock them. I'll put
There
one
you
in the
go.
visor
There
this
you go.
weekend.
No, man. So seriously, guys, if you want to support us, support them, because without them, we wouldn't be able to go live. We wouldn't be able to eventually get our studio to where we want it to be.
We got to get carpet in here so you don't hear the echo twice bad.
But honestly, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be where we're at right now. So
yeah, we
support
appreciate
them.
it. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you all the sponsors. Brendan Poland, thank you for coming in studio.
Sure.
Ricky Russell, thank you for coming on the show. Yep. Brandon, thank you for coming in 10 minutes early today.
That's right. Hey, thank you for showing up on time.
Absolutely, man. I showed up to my own house on time. All right, guys. Episode 72.
Peace.
Later.
I looked over my shoulder, saw you walking through the door. But you're not the same baby that I once knew. It's like I don't know you anymore. I feel the haze washing over you and me. Look light inside the clouds. Sometimes the rain leaves as quickly as it stormed in. Looks like the worst is over now. Something strange hit me. Something strange hit me. Something strange hit me. I don't know you anymore. Something strange hit me. Something strange hit me. Something strange hit me. I don't know you anymore. Ooh, I don't know you anymore. Oh, I don't know you anymore. It's always hard to say goodbye to the one person that's on your mind. But I can't waste my time trying to make you see. I can't take back another lie. You broke your promise to me long ago. Though I tried my best to believe. You said you're sorry ways would disappear. Now it's time for me to leave. Something strange in me. Something strange hit me. Something strange hit me. I don't know you anymore. Something strange hit me. Something strange hit me. Something strange hit me. I don't know you anymore.